Decoration takes out the 2025 Tats Cup, and gee, a galloper that loves obviously this track and looks onward to a Kalgoorlie Cup, you'd suggest?
You'd suggest so. It does look the natural progression for him next start. I think he's going to be very competitive in that race as well, Tess. As you mentioned, he's 3 from 3 now, an unblemished record here at Kalgoorlie, and he's a horse that has a very likeable racing pattern for this track in that he can put himself over the speed, he's tough, and he can really sustain a run, and all of those qualities were on show once again here this afternoon.
It was a very good battle to watch in the end there, indeed. But we've come to the last on today's program, race number 8, the Specialised Engineering Handicap over the 1,300 metres. Runners are in the yard, so we'll kick things off straight away with the one in Evelina for Peter Fernie and Holly Knottle.
I think she brings the right form to the table here, Tess. I'm not sure that she's been racing at her best this campaign, but she was only beaten 2.5 lengths by Pearly Nugget last start. We saw that form hold up earlier on today's program with Pearly Nugget able to win her third race for the preparation. She just got a bit too far back off the speed over the 1,100 metres last start, and I did think her best work was certainly late over that final couple of hundred metres. So the rise to 1,300 is going to suit her, I think, here this afternoon. My query on the setup for her, though, is that she's likely to get a long way back in running. We haven't seen too many gallopers make up much ground down the middle of the track here at Kalgoorlie. The inside lanes and those horses that can settle on speed, that's certainly been an advantage. So from barrier 9, I'm expecting Holly Knottle will be somewhere near last in running, and from there it might just be a bit too much of an ask.
The 2 is the Jester's Son, has been very impressive since joining Helen Harding's yard and WA. Stephen Johnson Porter rides.
He has, and I think he's got a little bit of upside to come as well. He was a winner here over 1,400 metres, chiming in from off the speed in pretty dominant fashion 2 starts ago, defeating Didira, who he meets again here in the last. And last start was a little bit slow out of the barriers, still had his chance to win, I thought, but was still a nice enough effort into second behind Abu in what was a very small field. Stepping up to the mile, drops back to 1,300 metres here, which is a bit of a query that I've got. The fact that this horse looked as though he was trending like he was looking for a bit more ground, now stepping back pretty sharply in trip. I think he can settle a bit closer in running here if he can step cleanly, or at least cleaner than last start from the barriers, and I think he's still got a little bit more improvement and upside to come.
The 3 is Don't Wait for Luck. The blinkers on, visors off. Peter Fernie, Braden Garth.
He has struck very wet tracks in all of his previous 4 runs, or all of his 4 runs this campaign, Tess, and that certainly isn't what he appreciates. He's certainly going to appreciate today getting back onto a drying surface. The track is listed as a soft 5, but he hasn't struck anything better than a soft 6 this campaign. And catching up and chatting to Tash Faithful after the win of Decoration, she seems to think the track has really dried out quite nicely here today, and that it is quite firm underfoot. He's been racing a little bit below his best, fair to say, but I think he can turn that around. They tinker with a bit of gear, blinkers go on, the visors come off. He's drawn a good gate. He's got a terrific record here at Kalgoorlie. He's back to 1,300 metres. I do think that's a better distance range for him. I could certainly see him featuring in the finish.
The 4 is Dreamers Never Die. 4th start this preparation and has been racing quite well. Peter Fernie, Tash Faithful, and he's our favourite.
He has, and he's shown his versatility this campaign as well, Tess. It does look the right setup for him here in the last. He was a terrific run from off the speed on a day where that's not where you wanted to be 3 starts ago when running second behind Pearly Nugget. Had excuses 2 back behind He's Angelic, and then last start, to my surprise, and I'm sure to many people's surprise, actually found the front and led, which is not something we've ever really seen this horse do in his career, and he was only gunned down by a very much informed mare over the final 100 metres in Pearly Nugget. I think he's drawn the right part of the track, barrier 2. He's going to find a run up along that inside pad. He can settle handy to the speed, as he showed last start as well. I think he looks ready to win.
The 5 is Kakadu. Blinkers off, winkers on. Gary Bowen, Troy Turner.
Was showing some good form earlier in the preparation, Kakadu, but recent runs, that form has tapered off a little bit. Was well beaten by the Jester's Son 2 starts ago, then last start was very well beaten behind Secret Attire to the tune of 6.5 lengths. Drawn wide here in barrier 10. The winkers replaced the blinkers, but I'm not sure that'll be enough to sharpen him sharpen him up enough to be finishing in the money.
Magnachine, the 6 is a scratching. Deductions have been applied, 9 cents to the dollar. We move on to the 7 now in Miss Wall Street. Very big run, and hopefully today can be the day here. Mac Hall, Keshaw Duran.
I hope so too, Tess. I'm not as confident as I was earlier today, given how the day has unfolded and the pattern of the track has emerged, but I did put her on top when I submitted my numbers a little bit earlier this morning. She should have won here at Kalgoorlie 2 starts ago. Keshaw Duran probably just zigged when he should have zagged at the top of the straight, and had he gone to the outside, she probably wins that race. And then last start, when running 6 in a no metro win race at Belmont Park, Shani Webster just probably took her to the wrong part of the track. She got a long way back, but I still love the way that she hit the line in that inferior going back to the inside. She's got a good barrier to work with here today. Kesh Duran jumps back on board, and I think with clear galloping room and an unimpeded passage throughout, this looks a winnable race for her.
The 8 is Top Fun, was a winner 3 starts back and a minor place getter 2 starts back. Brian Allen and Chris Nicol goes aboard today.
He's in career best form at the moment, Top Fun. He was, as you mentioned, a winner 3 starts ago, leading throughout and kicked away quite convincingly over the concluding stages. Ran second behind Brazen Empress 2 starts ago, then last start was completely luckless, was held up the entire length of the straight virtually after getting just too far back. That's generally not his racing pattern. We know he can race right over the speed, not how things eventuated last start, but with Chris Nicol jumping on board today, it wouldn't surprise me to see him really roll forward with a bit of aggression if he begins well.
The 9 is Cocoon Bay for Helen Harding and Rocky Chung.
She's going well enough. I thought her run last start was certainly an improved effort. She had to do a bit of work from the breeze, and she stuck on okay behind Secret Attire in this company. Back to 1,300 metres at this stage of her career, and from what she produced last start, I think that's going to suit her as well. And she gets some weight relief too, utilising that 3 kilo claim of Rocky Chung. Gets in with only the 52 kilos on her back, and she maps her a pretty good run.
$41 into $10 for Cocoon Bay. You Know Me is the 10, Kerry Martin and Damien Bote.
Probably just not going well enough. This preparation test has been beaten big margins in weaker races and what he meets here in his recent couple of runs. He's got a good barrier to work with, but he'd need to find several lengths.
And the 11 is Didira for Kerry Martin and Maddie Derrick.
She's going really well. As we know, she's got a big finish on her, a massive last 600. She's shown that in her previous couple of runs. She ran second here behind the Jester's Son, charming in from last a couple of starts ago. That was a really good performance, so clearly we know she can perform here on the circuit. Last start went back to town to Belmont to a Class 3 against the fillies and mares. Got a long way back and hit the line nicely behind Surround Me and Just Adore a Bell. That's not a bad form reference race for this. My concern with her today, though, is that from the barrier, she's likely to end up last in running, and we haven't seen too many horses making up too much ground.
Runners are behind the barriers here, Riley, but just under 3 minutes remains. They have been getting them very quickly into the barriers, though, so I'll go through this market ever so quick. Dreamers Never Die is the favourite, $4.60 into $3.50, now at $3.60. Miss Wall Street is $4 out to $4.40. The Jester's Son is $3.50 out to $6. Top Fun, $11 out into $6. Don't Wait for Luck is $8.50 into $6, now $7.50. And Cocoon Bay, $41 into $8, now at $10. So very interesting there. Rocky Chong goes aboard, and as mentioned, does carry just the featherweight now of 52 kilos. Double figures or higher the rest. How do we play the last here, Riley?
Pretty competitive race to round out today's Tats Cup program test. 7, 4, 3 and 2 my numbers here. With the 7 on top, Miss Wall Street, who I thought found a very winnable race. I'm not as confident as I was early doors, given she is likely to end up in the second half of the field, making her run at them late. But she should have won here at this track 2 starts ago when very unlucky. Then last start was a really nice effort, the way she closed off on the wrong part of the track at Belmont Park. It was a promising run for next start, and this is a winnable assignment for her with an unimpeded run in transit. If Keshaw can just get her into the clear on straightening, we know she's got a terrific finishing burst. So went with the 7, Miss Wall Street, on top from the 4 in Dreamers Never Die. It does look the right setup for this horse here today. Led last start, shown his versatility this campaign, can settle handy to the speed, drawn the right part of the track here importantly at Kalgoorlie today, and looks ready to win. The 3, Don't Wait for Luck, and Improver back onto a drying surface with those blinkers going on, and the 2, the Jester's Son, in for 4th. 7, 4, 3 and 2.
7, 4, 3 and 2 here for Riley Morgan to round out the program at the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club on Tats Cup Day. 7 on top for Miss Wall Street, Mac Hall, Keshaw Duran, currently $4.40 in the market. Runners are behind the barriers. I believe some have started moving in, so we'll hand you now up to Darren to call us home for the last time today.
They are in fact moving in very quickly. Runners are coming up well here for the last. Don't Wait for Luck, the Jester's Son, Didira, the final 3. Winning doubles today for Holly Knottle, Troy Turner so far. As we wait for Evelina and Holly to turn this at times cantankerous mare around. Putting on a bit of a show in the yard once again. Can get a bee in her bonnet very easily, Evelina. As they bring her along, we still wait on Didira and the Jester's Son. So Decoration, 3 out of 3 in Kalgoorlie, took out the Tats Cup. Sure thing home in the Palace Hotel Gold Rush. And doubles today for Holly Knottle and Troy Turner as well. The highlights of the meeting, as things really will start to step up in the next few weeks, leading into race round 25. And the richest regional race ever run in this state, the $1 Million Golden Saddle, on October 4th, in conjunction with the $150,000 4X Gold Kalgoorlie Cup. $100,000 Ronnie Sayers Sprint. Still a couple out of the gates here. After the rain yesterday, it's been a pretty reasonable day actually in Kalgoorlie. As the Tats Club Cup meeting draws to an end, and the celebrations of the 120 years for the Tats Club itself come to an end. Now the red lights are on. In goes the Jester's Son. Here we go, last event of the day, they're off. All Dreamers Never Die, missed the start. First to get going, Cocoon Bay, and away well also, Don't Wait for Luck, the Jester's Son. Now Dreamers Never Die is starting to pick up ground quickly. Rushes through to be fourth, the end of nearly 200. Evelina is next of all with Miss Wall Street, You Know Me, and further back in the field to Top Fun. Out wider then came Didira. The tail ender is Kakadu. On to the 850 they head and make their way to the side where Cocoon Bay leads the way. Running second, the Jester's Son, a length and a half on the outside. Don't Wait for Luck from Dreamers Never Die, hugging the rail. 3/4 of a length away, wider on the track is Evelina. Miss Wall Street about 3 or 4 lengths from the leader, but just behind a wall of horses coming down the side with Didira and You Know Me in the middle. A length away then Top Fun, squeezing right up near the rail and whipping them all in is Kakadu. At the 400 they're about to set sail for the judge. Cocoon Bay gets the big stare now from on the outside, the Jester's Son, and Don't Wait for Luck quickly at both of those now makes a line of 3 as the rails run. Comes on the inside for Dreamers Never Die. At the 200, Don't Wait for Luck, the leader. Here comes Miss Wall Street. She's finishing powerfully down the outside. Cocoon Bay fights back. Cocoon Bay, Miss Wall Street though on the outside has got its measure. Miss Wall Street too good for Cocoon Bay, who fought tooth and nail. Then Top Fun probably third. Kakadu from last running on. Dreamers Never Die never capitalised upon the run. Back there with the Jester's Son, followed then by Don't Wait for Luck, who blew out in the last 150 after being there right with them. Then You Know Me, Didira and Evelina amongst the last in. Put the writing on the wall. Last time out, number 7, Miss Wall Street, and was able to settle a lot handier to the speed today. Only about 3 lengths off those leaders coming into the turn. And she absolutely has motored to the line, Miss Wall Street. Kesh Duran getting the better of Cocoon Bay, who got clearly headed, but then Don't Wait for Luck's run came to an abrupt halt. And Cocoon Bay fought back. Behind them, Top Fun was running on. The numbers are 7, 9, 8. 5 has run fourth, Kakadu, after getting home from the back of the field in 1:20.25. So the final event for the day to the Manhattan Rain mare. She's out of Street Value for Mac Hall, I Love It, K Bishop, G Fitzgerald, D Bowden, trained by Mac Hall, Kesh Duran the winning rider. Second 9, Cocoon Bay by Cable Bay, Helen Harding, Rocky Chung, and third 8, Top Fun by Top Echelon in the art of Brian Allen and ridden by Chris Nichol. A length by a length and a half of the margins as we round it all out this afternoon from Kalgoorlie on Tats Cup Day with Tess Daly, who's back in the yard.
Thanks, Darren. I'm joined by a very happy Mag Hall Mag, Miss Wall Street. She's been a really nice type since purchasing her for your stable. Luckless, Drived here today, one horse, got the job done.
Yeah, absolutely, Tess. It's always a relief when you take one of the races. It's a long way to come for one horse. We waited all day, and to get the results really great. So I'm really happy for the owners. They've been super patient, and they picked her out and sort of thought, do you want to buy her? And we got her for a reasonable price, and she's been stiff her first 2 starts, so good to get a result.
It was a bit of a sleep-in for you this morning, though. 8 o'clock, that's not bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, normally we're getting up at 3 to try and come here, so it's good. Yeah.
And a great result as well, as mentioned. I think she'll be a really nice money spinner for you after the back of this win. Bit of a confidence boost for her.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Kesh rode it perfectly. He summed it up well, and he got on the back of the right horse in the corner, and she had to think about probably going past the second horse, but yeah, hopefully that gives her a bit of confidence so we can go through the grades.
Do you look for another race out here at Cal, or is there something a little bit closer to home?
We'll have a think about that. There's a few options. I think she's up to the grade in town, so those midweek sort of races sort of suit her down in the weights, but also she loves it here, so we might come back here too.
Are you jumping on the plane tonight and your dad has to drive back on his own, or are you driving too?
He's got the pleasure of my company on the way home, so yeah.
Very good. Congrats here. Enjoy the trip home.
Thanks, Tess.
There's Mac Hall, and we'll be getting a word with Keshaw Duran very soon. We love when these two combine together because they do get plenty of good results, don't they?
They certainly do. He's very good at placing his horses, Mac Hall. It's been a staple of his operation since its inception. He's been happy to travel horses here to Kalgoorlie, and he's had many good results here at this track over the course of the season, and at many other provincial and country tracks around the state as well. So he's travelling his horses, but he's turning over some money for his owners, which is a good thing.
Absolutely right. And Miss Wall Street, a really nice acquisition to his yard, and she's quite a tough mare and potentially could go through the grades as Max suggested. We'll try and grab a word with, Keshaw's coming back over, so Riley will catch up with him now.
We'll grab a quick word with Keshaw to round out today's program. Tess, Keshaw, congratulations. Miss Wall Street, she looked to travel really well in running today, and you just needed a little bit of room to move at the top of the straight, but once she was able to find that room, she was pretty powerful late.
Yeah, probably a while ago I rode the horse here. It was probably a little bit new from Mackie's stable, but he was like without blinkers, and he was like probably off and on. And I said to Mac, probably put the blinkers on. He was probably travel much better. And last time I was suspended, unlucky. And Shani rides the horse perfect with the blinkers, and she finished off really good. Today, I know my horse was probably good on this race, but I give my horse a good run, and he finished off really good.
Was there any added pressure put on you by the boss today? It's a long way to come for just the one runner, and she's been pretty unlucky in a couple of runs this preparation.
Yeah, when my manager rang him, and probably he decided to bring some horses, probably 3 or 4 horses, and then he decided to nom only 2 horses, and he said to me probably only one is running, but I've tried my best, 100%.
Great way to round out the day. Keshaw, well done.
No worries, I give a shout out my manager. He worked really good, and hard work paid. Thank you.
Well said. Keshaw Duran joining me there, Tess, after the final race on today's program. A great result for Kesh and for Mac as well.
Absolutely right. Numbers here in the last 7, 9, 8 and 5. Great way to round out today's program there, right, as we get our positions here on camera. But big day of racing here. It's been a fantastic weekend of racing as well, but big highlights out of today.
It's been a busy weekend of racing.
It has, yes. I've actually covered 29 races as well, so my voice is very coarse at the moment, but it's been great too. And looking at highlights on today's program, it was great to see Sure Thing back into winning form, and then obviously Decoration in the feature too. Yeah,
the win of Gibraltar Gold for me as well, Tess. I thought that was a really impressive victory given the ground that she had to make up on the stablemate from the top of the straight. She seems a really progressive type of a mare, and it wouldn't surprise me to see her move on to better races and winning better races in the not too distant future as well.
Absolutely right, and stepping out in trip as well. It will be very exciting times ahead, but that's all we have time for now this afternoon. So for now, it's good night from us.